Mommies with the Maggots now. It's the new installment of the Evil Dead franchise, Evil Dead Rise. Ana de Armas and Chris Evans reunite in Ghosted, and it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. That's today on the King's Corner. What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for popping in to this week's episode of the King's Corner, where today we're talking about, firstly, Evil Dead Rise. This is the new film in the Evil Dead series that, look, this is a series that is, it has a cult following. Me personally, I like the remake, the 2013 film. I think Army of Darkness is okay, but the first two Evil Dead films, they just don't do it for me because of the tone. I think the first one wasn't intentionally supposed to be goofy, but it was. The second one, I think, is better than the first one, but still, the goofy tone is the Sam Raimi thing, the cheesiness, whatever you want to call it. It just doesn't work for me with horror. It doesn't mix well, and I didn't really care for it. Army of Darkness feels more like a real movie with a real story and real characters. You get a lot more going on in that film, and even though there is a lot of goofiness happening, it's my favorite of the three. Then you get the 2013 remake, which is my favorite. They went with a more serious tone, which I really enjoyed and appreciated. Even though all of these films, by the third act, they do start to get a little tired, and they lose some of the magic that the film opens with. And that's the same for Evil Dead Rise. I think this movie is my second favorite of the Evil Dead series. I like it more than the original trilogy of films, but I don't like it as much as the 2013 remake. In that film, we're dealing with drug addiction, and we're going to the cabin to try to support a girl who's going to be going through withdrawals, and she's quitting drugs and all this. In this film, it's different. It's just a family story. Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan play the sisters in this movie, and they're sort of the two that ground the film. The first act is certainly my favorite of the movie, which sets up the family. It sets up the dynamic with the sisters and everything that's going on and the kids. I thought it opened really well, and also the opening sequence of the film is my favorite opening sequence to any Evil Dead movie. I thought it was clever how it was done, how it plays into the rest of the movie, and I just found it very engaging. But as the film goes on, you do get reintroduced to the Book of the Dead that we find, and it gets opened up, and the record gets played, whatever the case may be. The curse is said, and then the Evil Dead comes out, and now we have to fight for survival. We need to fight for our lives. So is the movie entertaining? It is certainly entertaining. Is the film, violent? Does the violence pay off? Is it as gruesome, as gory as some of you may hope? I think the 2013 film is more intense. I think it's a more gory movie. I think there's just more intense things happening in that film. This one, it's more laid back, I feel. There's a lot of really disgusting things that happen in it, but it's not as much. It's more tamed back, which isn't a bad thing. They really tried to make you care about this family, which I did. I did care about the family, but by the third act of the movie, which I feel for all these films, it just starts to get a little tired. We get it. There's only so many times somebody could jump on a ceiling or grab something strange in the kitchen and start cutting you up with it. I mean, there's only so many times you could do that for it to feel still fresh and interesting. So you're sort of like, okay, I wonder how this is going to end. And then it goes on, it wraps up. I liked the last 10 minutes of the movie. I thought it picked up, certainly. And the ending of the film, I think it's a bookend from the way it starts to the way it ends. I did enjoy that aspect of it, not to give any spoilers, but you do care about the characters. I just think overall the story, I mean, there's really no story. It's just a family, and the book is found, and we're in an apartment, and we're on the top floor, and things are going to start to go down. So there's really nothing going on under the surface. Some of the characters, they're dealing with stuff that happened in the past, but other than that, there's really no meat to it. Even though the family dynamic is laid out and you do care about them, there's not a lot more going on. Overall, Evil Dead Rise, it's fun, it's entertaining, and I did like it. I thought it was a good film. Overall, not great, but it's a 3.5 out of 5-star movie for me. And do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you're a fan of the series, I think you will enjoy it. I just don't think you're going to come out going, "Wow, that was terrific." Maybe you will, but for me, it was fine. Moving into our next film, it's Ghosted. This was a Apple TV release starring Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. They are coming back from Knives Out. They're working together again. And the film is, it's an action thriller love story. Chris Evans, he plays a single guy. Ana de Armas, she comes in, they start talking, and they have a great night. Next thing you know, he's being ghosted by her. She's not answering. She's a couple days go by. She's not responding to any of his texts. He's sending a ton. She finds out. He finds out that she's over in London. He's got a tracker on his inhaler or whatever the case may be. So to go to surprise her, he goes over there and he gets abducted. What does she do? She comes saves him because she's a CIA agent. And now you just have to go through the rest of the film with them bickering back and forth. Will they, won't they get together? And what's the story? About some Aztec thing? I don't know. The spy story of it and like what Ana de Armas' character is trying to accomplish. It's probably one of the most cliched, underwritten, dull stories. I mean, I could care less what's going on with the Adrian Brody character. All that stuff did not work at all. But what gets you through this movie is the chemistry between Chris Evans and Ana de Armas. They're great actors, and they're doing a great job in the film. Some of the scenes are fun and entertaining, but overall, the film, I think, does miss a bit. Because it doesn't have much to do. I mean, you do these action scenes, you get done with the whole story, and it ends in a very basic sort of way, and you just go, well, okay, well, that was, I guess it was okay. Um, yeah, I don't think I really liked it very much, but I don't think I really disliked it either. It was just kind of middle of the road, very mediocre, very basic, very plain kind of film. There's some laughs, but I don't think you're going to be, talking about it to your friends, being like, "Hey, I recommend you go see this." I mean, if they ask about it, you'll probably be like, "Yeah, it was okay. We laughed a couple times," but that's really it. It doesn't have much more to offer. And Ghosted, it's right in the middle for me. It's a 3 out of 5 movie. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that good. I just think it's borderline. So the final film we're talking about today is a very special one. It's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, which is coming to theaters this Friday, opening for a limited engagement. Very excited to witness this film on the big screen. I've never seen it on the big screen before. The only Star Wars films that I've seen on the big screen is the new Disney Star Wars films. I saw the first one was Revenge of the Sith. I saw that in 2005. Saw the Phantom Menace in 3D. Saw The Empire Strikes Back when they re-released it for its anniversary a couple years ago, and now Return of the Jedi. So it looks like Attack of the Clones and A New Hope are the only Star Wars films that I will not have seen in theaters. So yeah, but look, Return of the Jedi. This is one of those films in one of those trilogies that's one of the best of all time. I mean, I can't imagine being back in 1983 waiting 3 years to see what's going to happen to Han Solo, what's going to happen with Darth Vader. Is Darth Vader really Luke Skywalker's father? What's going on there? Are we going to finally really see the Emperor in the flesh? I mean, there was probably a lot riding on it. And the trailers, if you go back, you watch the trailers for it, you see Han Solo running around. So obviously, it's like, spoiler alert, he survived. But looking at it today, with all that speculation put aside, um, it's the ultimate story of good and evil. And it's the return of the Jedi, meaning like it's the return of hope and return of the good guys. And the good guys strike back in this film. The rebels strike back, so to speak. Um, the opening is great with the Jabba the Hutt sequence, saving Han Solo, the whole sail barge stuff. I mean, really great stuff. But then you start to really get into the meat of it when they go to Endor, and Luke senses Vader. And he says, you know what? He talks to Yoda, and he finds out that he is his father, and it's true. So he takes it upon himself to say, you know what? I'm gonna try to save him. I'm gonna try to rescue him. And looking at that today, it's just like, okay, that's Return of the Jedi. But really thinking about it, what gonads that Luke Skywalker had to say, I'm gonna try to turn the most evil man in the galaxy back to a good man that's hiding deep within. It's Anakin Skywalker. After the conversations with Alec Guinness, after Yoda passes away. That's his journey. That's his motivation in the film. And it was all so powerful. I mean, the Endor stuff, you get the more sort of fun element of it with the Ewoks and everything, but then you do get that really beefy, juicy stuff with Luke giving himself up to Vader, and basically this is his way. Like, look, I'm gonna give myself up, and I'm gonna do my best to see what I can do with him. And if I can save him, great. If I can't, we'll see what happens. But he went in so damn optimistic, and that makes him just such a great character. Such a great character. I think this is my favorite version of Luke Skywalker in any of the films. Is him in Return of the Jedi. Green lightsaber, black outfit. I mean, just so cool, so awesome. And then you ultimately meet the Emperor. You get the amazing scene in the throne room, where they're all just sort of back and forth, back and forth. You got Emperor talking to Luke, Vader chipping in, and then obviously you get the big battle at the end of the movie where all the fights sort of start to happen on the ground in Endor, in space, for Lando and all that, to try to destroy the second Death Star, and then the most juicy stuff in the Death Star itself with the Emperor. Uh, Luke, he ultimately lets anger get to him for a second, ignites his lightsaber. Was he going to kill the Emperor in that moment? I don't know. But Vader comes in, would never let him do that. So then the fight starts, and ultimately, good prevails. I mean, Luke does really get really angry when Vader says, "You know what? You have a sister," and he starts to play with him in his head, and then he rages out, and you get the beautiful John Williams music as they're fighting through, and he finally just totally unleashes on him, and he cuts Vader's hand off, which is the ultimate payback, and he did it out of anger. And he realized what he did, and he threw the lightsaber, and he said, "I'm a Jedi, and you failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi like my father before me. Uh, I won't turn to the dark side." And just the the clear motivation. He could make mistakes in the moment, but ultimately come right back out of it and say, "No, this is who I am. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. So be it, Jedi." I mean, so iconic. Uh, for the Emperor just to start blasting with the lightning, and for Vader to get up and see his son and make that decision. Say, you know what are we doing here? And finally realizing, maybe it's time to take this guy out. And he does. And he does. He picks him up, throws him over the shaft, and you get that great scene. Takes his mask off, and sees his son for face to face, eye to eye, for the first and final time, as a good man, as the redeemed Anakin Skywalker. And then Luke, burns the body, sees the three ghosts at the end of the film. I mean, truly, truly beautiful stuff. I mean, the redemption. I mean, if you've seen a movie with redemption, I mean, this might be the best redemption of any film. I mean, it's so beautifully done. And the Endor stuff, the Luke and Han and Chewie stuff, 3PO, R2, it's all great. It's all fun. The Ewok stuff, some people have a problem with the Ewoks. I personally don't. I like the Ewoks. But I think there was like a 10-minute segment in the film. It's right after the speeder bike chase to the point where we meet the Ewoks and all this. They're gonna, C-3PO has to, he's the god, so he has to save the trio from being burned. Luke uses the Force on him and all this, so that's all really fun stuff. But the movie does pause for a little bit, from after the speeder bike chase to right when Luke goes out onto the bridge with Leia, and he talks to her about he's her brother and all this. The stuff in between that, we're just catching up with the Ewoks and we're breathing a little bit on Endor. Do appreciate it, but it does pause the movie for a little bit. The rest of it, though, it flies. I think it's great. It's fantastic. The thing about the Ewoks being able to destroy and kill stormtroopers, I mean, why not? I mean, these are little murder bears. What's the problem with that? John Williams, fantastic score, Oscar-nominated score. Some great themes came out of this. The Emperor's theme, the Luke and Leia brother and sister theme, that returns a little bit in The Last Jedi. The Parade of the Ewoks, which is a great piece of music. Just overall, great stuff. Great stuff. Great direction. Great film. I mean, just terrific. It's perfect end to the trilogy. They've been releasing a lot of merchandise from the 40th anniversary. So I got a couple pint glasses, and this is from Hot Topic exclusive Darth Vader Funko, little mini Funko, keychain Funko, and I've got the Funko series as well on the shelf. But yeah, Return of the Jedi. It's 4.5 out of 5-star film. I can't give it a 5 out of 5 because I do, see that the film does slow down and pause for a little bit. Is it a bad thing? Is it time to breathe? No, but you can feel it. It's like, okay, slow down, pick back up. Terrific film. Great film. And, I can't wait till the 50th anniversary and the whatever, to rewatch these movies is a treat. And I'm looking forward to seeing it in the biggest screen I can. That's going to be great. So that's where we're at, guys. That is the new release films of the week. And we do have 2 physical media 4Ks and Blu-rays to talk about for you guys. The physical media roundup of the week, releasing this past Tuesday, is The Triangle of Sadness, Oscar-nominated film. Didn't win an Oscar, but it was nominated for a couple. Looks beautiful on 4K. I think the transfer is really incredible. And then the Blu-ray of 2023 new release film, Jesus Revolution. Very uplifting, feel-good movie. So, yeah, these are out now, and, I do recommend both of them. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner. Don't forget to subscribe for the future weeks and future reviews of films. We've got the summer season starting. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming. Check out our weekly live show where we give away a lot of these digital codes and some other fun things as well. So definitely come on back for that stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingArises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.